Yeah, it seems that we are live already.
Mm-hmm.
YouTube is doing a little bit, it's going live with a little bit of delay, but I guess now we are live. Yeah. So, warm welcome, Adam. Warm welcome, everyone here on Zoom. And warm welcome, all those of you who are watching us on YouTube, who are joining us in this very moment. Very excited. We've missed two last weeks. We didn't have the opportunity to make live like that and make Zoom gatherings. But today we are here with a very special guest. Welcome, Adam. I'm really very to have you here. So glad.
Yeah, lovely to be here with you, Luciana. Thank you for inviting me.
Yeah. Thank you for accepting the invitation. Yeah, it's nice to sit like that without being pushed to say anything, right? And here we are, sitting here, enjoying our company. Looking what's here. Is it what is happening right now? We're just enjoying what's here.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just checking if everything's fine on YouTube. Is it what is happening right now? It's going with a little bit delay. Okay, for those of you who are joining us now, I put the link for Zoom in the chat window so you can join us right here. Hi guys, I will be listening. Okay, Gaia, so glad that you're here. Yeah, no worries. Okay, let me start by asking you something, Adam. Is it possible for us, for human beings, to live a joyful life without being constantly molested by thoughts, by our own thoughts?
Just so you know, I think it's your internet's breaking up a little bit, like so the words are not coming through. Not all of them. Every now and then it just freezes a little bit.
I'll try to script something. Okay, thank you. Yeah, probably it's internet. But would you like me to repeat that, or?
No, I think I got the question. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, I think it's the thoughts that are really the most problematic are sort of either the shame thoughts or being driven by shame, and they're there's sort of the constant sort of criticism, the constant judgment of our experience. That it really is so hard for us to enjoy our lives when we're constantly living in that sort of trying to satisfy that judging voice, that critical voice that has an image of us that's totally false, an image of our lives that's totally false.
Yeah, and someone can ask, or yeah, there are questions like that. But how is that possible? What one must do, or what we should do to not be immersed constantly in this false image here of who we are?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's helpful, first of all, to even know that that's happening. I mean, to be aware of that. And that's the first step, right? A lot of people are like, "Oh, I don't have any shame," or the shame voice is just so identified with it, like it's just like that's what I am. That's the sort of the truth about my experience just constantly being conveyed to me. So it's really helpful to see like, oh no, that's a voice that's happening. That's like a conversation that's going on in the head, like it's something showing up in the field of our experience. And it's not telling you the truth about you or about your life or any of that. So just becoming aware of that is really helpful. And then challenging the authority of that voice, challenging the claims it makes about us and it makes about our lives. And we start to see like, wow, it's totally false. It's totally made up. And it's so liberating when we see that, because then we're free of that. Then we're free to actually just like move in a way that's true for us, without imagining that there's a way for us to do this wrong, or there's a way that we should be doing this. There's no way that we should be doing life. I mean, this is a totally open field. We're all just making up as we go along.
Yeah. Certain thoughts like rushing here or something else to ask or to share. So the first is to notice that, something is going on and something is not quite well. Probably a lot of people are pulled to look for something, let's say to look or to search for something, because there is this agitation but it's not possible to be like this. Life is not meant to be like tough and full of judgments and full of pain, and people are forced to search. So they're going, let's say, most of us are going on a search for something, and even we can't name this. We don't know. I didn't knew it what it was I was looking for, nor that I know now. But really, yeah. Can you say something about this longing to look something, to see something beyond what we call normal, let's say, life?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's like we have a sense of like the story that the mind's telling us about our lives and about reality is not the truth. It's not the whole truth at any rate. We tend to have a bit of a sense of that. Like we know there's like something here beyond like the thought stream, and the way that the thought stream describes reality. So, I feel like that's sort of that. And then often we have, people have experiences where it's like, oh, something like deepened, something opened. And and it's like if we're lucky, there's a curiosity provoked by such things. We're like, like what's that? So that's really, I think, how the how we start to wake up to like the reality is not what we've been told, that we're not what we've been told we are.
And what's really happening? I asked this question. I know I asked this question, but what's really happening on the events which you're doing in person, which we are going to have? We are just so lucky to have you in Sofia, Bulgaria now. What's happening on these events? I'm struggling each time to explain it. I can't. So I'm asking you one more time.
Yeah, I mean, it is difficult to explain like what the events are, because they're so open-ended in terms of like, how will things unfold there? What will we explore? So Falling Open Together is the title that I give the sort of broader work that I do. So that's that's really the invitation for us to show up and explore like what's happening, what is our experience, like opening to seeing like deeper layers than we typically do when we're just caught in our conditioned movement and conditioned thoughts. So then there's this sense of opening, right? Like this sense of like opening ourselves to what's here. So it's like, it's not that we're trying to find a particular experience. It's more like we're opening to our direct experience. So we're opening like beneath the sort of the description that our mind gives us to like actually noticing like what's true here, what's alive here. And then there's another other events called erotic embodiment and intimacy. And what we're going to be doing there is bringing loving attention to that dimension of experience, the erotic dimension of experience, to our sexuality, what happens in intimacy, what happens in the relational space between us. And the reason that I'm offering this sort of particular inquiry is because typically that inquiry doesn't come up if in the space of falling open together, or pretty much any other spiritual circle as well, unless you say like, oh, we're going to explore tantra or sexuality or something, because there's so much shame around sexuality that people will not bring that to the surface in a group. It's like, oh no, that's inappropriate. No, we don't talk about sex. No, that's wrong. That's not spiritual. Yeah, and it's actually like so important. It's like this, it's like the vital energy, the life energy, the enjoyment of life is erotic. So to not have that as part of the conversation is is incredibly diminished in terms of like what's real here, what's possible for us. So the erotic is even in the falling open together, the erotic dimension is very much included. It's very much a part of that. But I also feel like it's necessary to have a space where we directly go into the inquiry around erotic embodiment and intimacy, because otherwise it tends to not come up, to be ignored, to be excluded. So we've got tomorrow, we're going to do some gatherings, a gathering where we do falling open together for a couple of hours, 1 o'clock, and then at 3:30 we're going to do falling open. We're going to do erotic embodiment and intimacy. And then this weekend, we have erotic embodiment and intimacy retreat. So we'll be together for 2 days in Sofia. And then next Wednesday, we're going to have a retreat starting from Wednesday through Sunday, a 5-day residential retreat in the mountains, which is falling open together. So it includes the erotic, but it's everything. Any part of our experience is welcome. And that, that's I just love being together with people for 5 days. I mean, we go so deep together. I mean, the field just gets so deep, and so much becomes visible and available when we're together like that for an extended period, like really in that sort of space of loving consciousness together.
Yeah, totally. I just can confirm that, because we've been together 3-4 years already. And no matter how lovely our Zooms, really, it's a lovely opportunity to connect with people from all around the globe, which without this opportunity wouldn't be possible. But oh my goodness, it in person is amazing. It's beyond words, beyond any description.
Mm-hmm.
So for those of us who are enough lucky to be in Sofia, Bulgaria, there is an amazing opportunity for us tomorrow, the following weekend, and then the 5 days retreat near Sofia in Malovica. This is real mountain. So yeah. I'm not going to say to ask something else, because I wanted to leave space for people, because I will see you tomorrow again. In person, but I want to open the space for the people. If you want someone here in Zoom, if you want to ask something or share something or just say hi or whatever feels right for you, please do so. Unmute yourself and just say something or share something or ask. And if there is something on YouTube, I'm going to read it for Adam. Hi, Philip, Stefan, Zori, Gaia, oh, Julie, Yeah, warm welcome, everyone. Okay. Yeah, I'm just checking. So someone is writing here. This is Lubo. Lubo asked a question in YouTube: absolute freedom and protective mechanisms in us. This is a question, or a comment, or something to discuss, or to put light on it. Absolute freedom and the protective mechanisms in us, or our protective mechanism. Can you say something about that?
Yeah.
Oh, sorry to interrupt you. Just to say, guys, if someone needs help with translation, I'm here for you. You can message me via chat, and I'm going to ask something on your behalf, and I'm going to translate as well. Sorry, Adam.
Yeah, no problem. Yeah, so often when we carry a lot of shame, or we've had sort of traumatic experiences, or experiences that we couldn't integrate, we didn't have enough resource to integrate. Often from early childhood, much of those sort of things that happen to us in early childhood often create these protective conditioning that we carry. So a lot of what happens in my work is that there's an opportunity for the protective conditioning to soften and open. So when we've had these experiences, our body is tight, it's protected. It's like, wow, that must never happen. We must never have that experience. And the body's sort of in survival mode, trying to protect us from having these types of experiences that were intolerable to us when we were younger. So often we're walking around, and these layers of protection can be really strong, where we can feel it, where we're sort of like really tight in the body. They can also be more subtle, like just sort of like familiar tensions in the body, or a way that we're like a tightness, self-consciousness. So what happens in this work is that our body has the opportunity, when we're in this space of loving consciousness, our body has an opportunity to update like to the reality of our current situation. So rather than running protection as if there's some survival threat here, we can actually soften into, oh, actually, no, there isn't a survival threat here. There's no tiger in the room. I don't have to make sure that the person next to me loves me, because I'm not dependent on them to feed me. I'm not dependent on them to meet all my needs in the way that I was when I was a young child. So this protective mechanisms, these protective conditioning can drop away, and then we can discover how do we actually want to move and show up and express ourselves and relate to each other. And it's like so beautiful to see what happens, especially when we're in a retreat space where we have that softening happening for ourselves and for the people around us. There's such an outpouring of love and like a real discovery of like, wow, like how do we actually want to be in connection with each other? What's possible here? And it's so different from our experience out in the world, where everyone's carrying so much of this conditioning, and often we're carrying so much of this conditioning, and there's not that softness, that availability, that intimacy, that freedom.
Yeah, I could share that the feeling, or the feeling on the retreat is that we are all become like children, innocent.
Yeah.
As if we become again like that. It's not something fancy or spiritual or whatever. It's just a natural behavior. It's like that, probably. I don't know.
Yeah, it's like as we soften and open, the protective mechanisms fall away. It's like we become curious like children. We become open like children. We can feel everything. We become playful. It's like we have that freedom of movement that we often witness with children. It's just like often when you're if you're at gatherings where there's children, often the children are the free ones, and you can just see how so many of the adults are carrying like all this protection and all this like shutdown. You know, it's almost like the definition of adult is a dead child. You know, it's like a child that's like been shut down, we've killed off that aliveness, that freedom. So it's really like the invitation is to rediscover that, to reconnect with that flow, the movement of life energy through us, and give that permission to express.
Yeah, there is a question in the chat. I will read it for you if you have. Yeah,
great.
Stefan was asking. I have a question. It's really clear to me that I'm not thoughts, not the body, the emotions, the sensations. We are this spacious awareness, but it's not clear that there is this no separation. What is this pointing to? I can't grasp how there is anything further than not being the thoughts. Would you like me to read it again?
No, I have it. Yeah.
Okay. Shall I read it again?
Yeah, no, it's no, I got it. Yeah, I think, yeah. So it's like, so I guess the question is like, what is separation? Like, what is the definition of separation?
Maybe.
Because it's like, if we're looking for non-separation, it's like, that's not a thing, but there's no non-separation to be found. If there was non-separation, then there would be separation, right? Because it would be non-separation, separation. But it's yeah, it's like to see that, like, the way that we've divided up reality, the way that the mind has carved up reality into things is totally made up. Like, so we have these categories that have divided reality into, sliced it up in these ways. So it's that thing, not this not that, this not that. But it's totally fabricated. It can be really useful in terms of like moving around time and space, coordinating and so on, but it's actually not real. Like, it's a tool we've invented. Making distinctions. We make distinctions. We divide up reality. So it's really like pointing to the fact that it's a convention. We've made up a convention of division, of separating reality. But if that falls away, it's like, yeah, what's here?
There is a follow-up comment. Thank you. That makes sense. Sorry, can't put my microphone on the chat. Yeah, that's fine, Stefan. No worries. I'm here for you guys.
Are people able to speak questions, or are they?
Yes. But Stefan just mentioned that he can't speak on the mic. I don't know. Maybe there is a reason. But everyone here in the Zoom can join us and share at the moment live and speak and whatever.
Okay, great.
Thank you.
Great.
Got to go. Okay. So if someone here in Zoom wants to say something, I see Krasen. Krasen, is that you? Because I can't see face, but that's fine. Yeah. Let's check. Yeah. No one is asking or wanting to share anything in Zoom for now, but yeah. Let's see. So, because there are no other people who want to comment or share now, I can.
Oh, there's another one from Stefan.
Oh, okay. I'm going to read it. I have another. Yeah, sure. After realization, there are still insecurities. They're seen and they aren't a problem. But there was an expectation they would fall away. What do you think? Okay, after realization, there are still insecurities. They are seen and aren't a problem. But there was an expectation that they would fall away. What do you think?
Yeah, my sense of it is that even after we sort of realize that the mind is just thoughts, just mental images, it's not telling us the truth about reality. You know, we sort of see through that. We awaken. The body still carries like these protective layers. So it's like even if we know like there's no tiger in the room and there's no reason for me to be uptight and I don't need anyone to love me, or I don't need to impress this particular person, we may still feel tightness in the body, even though we can see that like there's actually no threat. The body may still be reacting as if there's a threat. You may still carry that fear or that shame in the body. So it's sort of like, but becoming conscious of like what's happening in the body, like bringing loving attention to the body. It's like, oh, the body's scared. You know, like it's okay that the body's scared. Like there's no threat here. We don't have to run around. We don't have to make anything different. You know, and just like really giving the body permission in its own time to relax into the space of, you know, to soften, to relax, to sort of like to update the conditioning, you know, where it's like, oh, we don't have to be so protected. We don't have to be so guarded. Like you know, we're not in the early childhood situation. We're not in the situation that where we adopted this conditioning. So even after we sort of see through the thoughts, it's like it takes a while for the body to catch up. And just to be really gentle with that, you know, just to bring loving attention to the body, like to let it relax and soften in its own time, not to shame ourselves because the body's still protecting, still holding. You know, and typically there are layers and layers to this, you know, so it's like yeah, it's the body is you know, it opens gradually, it opens slowly, you know, but in the space of loving awareness, it accelerates. You know, the more we can be conscious of what's going on in the body, the more we can give it loving attention. But even after we've had certain layers open, we're like, oh my God, I can't believe that fell away. It's like it's like being inside a totally different body. It's like then something else opens and falls away. And it's like, oh my God, it's totally different than I ever knew. It's like, I mean, there's so much, you know, holding typically many layers of protection. So it's really a beautiful journey as they start to heal and open. It's you know, it's really astonishing what's possible.
Stefan wrote, thank you, great advice. Are there practices to accelerate that? There is a follow-up.
Oh, there are many practices.
Practices to accelerate that.
Yeah, I mean, there are many practices. And what I always say with practices is like to engage them with curiosity and with from a place of inspiration and love, rather than a should and ought to. I've got to become a better person. I've got to get rid of this or change this. Because, you know, when we're doing practices from that place of should or ought to or must be better, it's like we're still in that shame story. We're still in that you know, idea that we're not how we're supposed to be and we've got to fix ourselves. But that's very different from the movement of love and inspiration. It's like, wow, yeah, I love doing these practices. Like they're something magical happens here. It's like I can feel the impact. It's beautiful. I want to take care of myself. It's really you know, a different space for the practice to come from. So with having said that, obviously with practices, we want to do the practices that are appeal to us. You know, so whatever practices you find appealing, delightful, nourishing, you know, do those. You know, I'll say for myself, I love the practice of authentic movement. which is a practice where we close our eyes and then we just listen to how the body wants to move and let it do whatever it wants to do, and let the body make any sounds it wants to make, but just really allowing ourselves to feel the energy of the body, to feel the pleasure of the body, and just let it do what it wants to do, to be surprised by the way that it wants to move. It's a bit like the sort of just sitting meditation practice, and there's no objective with authentic movement. It's not that you're supposed to be moving all the time. Stillness is just as valid as movement, but it's really just that invitation to listen to how does the body want to move in this moment? What feels good to the body? And really giving the body permission to move in whatever way feels good to it, and to make whatever sounds feel good to it. So it's sort of becoming more intimate with the experience of the body. And it's a beautiful, pleasurable practice. And it's there can be this, it's sort of a great way to come back into the flow of the movement through the body, sort of back into the center of our energetic flow. It's really, really lovely. So that's one of my favorite practices, and we often do this practice at my retreat as a group, which is also a wonderful exploration, because when you do authentic movement as a group, there's also contact can happen, and then there's all kinds of exploration there around intimacy and relating, which is really different with our eyes closed, without an agenda, where we're both just listening to what's true for us and moving in a way that feels good. Is really different from having our eyes open and being in having ideas about what's supposed to happen, what we are, what they are, or what this means or that means. So it's really great just to sort of shelve that whole universe of meaning and just allow the body to do what it wants to do, to move in a way that's true for it.
Sounds really cool. Thanks. Yeah, it is. Yeah, warm welcome to new ones. Virginia, hello. Again, an invitation if someone wants to share something, to say hi to Adam or to...
Hello.
We have
Hello.
Здрасти, hello.
Hi.
Искаш ли да ти помогна с превод? Ако искаш нещо да кажеш, аз ще преведа.
Ами, аз няма какво да кажа сега, само ще слушам.
She said, I have nothing to say, I'm going to listen. Okay.
Okay.
Good to see you, to be with you.
Me too, as always.
Yeah, I was just wanted to say that we have probably 15 minutes more with Adam. Then we can stay like that if you don't mind, of course, but Adam will need to leave in a while. But for now, we are here. I'm so happy that tomorrow I'm going to see some of you guys. Really, my heart is singing.
Yeah, I'm really looking forward to that as well. It's so beautiful to be in the space together, to feel the energy together. It's it's so lovely.
Hi guys, can I say something without a camera? Because I can't switch it on now.
Of course you can.
When Adam was talking about the practices, also another practice that we do is to observe the emotions, which are also happening in the body. So it's another type of embodiment work. And also emotions are another part of the body which is lagging behind the realization of the mind, let's say so. So for Stephen, who was asking, that's also part of what we do with Adam. And also that is maybe the major thing that brought embodiment to my realization. I had realized some things maybe for a year before we met Adam. But when we began this practice of observing the emotions and giving them safe space for expression, this is for me when really the real enlightenment began. Because it was turning into life. It was turning into juicy, real, tangible life. It was not an idea, because what I experienced was that at a certain point, enlightenment began to turn into idea, into another concept of the mind, which I was beginning to live according to. But then when it's with the embodiment work, it turned it into life. So this is so precious for me for the time that we've been doing it with Adam. It really changed the game. So thank you.
Thank you so much for sharing, Gaia. I mean, and your experience really resonates with mine as well. You know, my sort of non-dual opening, my sort of non-dual awakening was really like the mind coming to rest. It was like, okay, yeah, there's like nothing to figure out here. There's no like true image of self. There's no true story about reality or about my life or any of that, or the spiritual path. You know, so like that sort of coming to rest, that like falling open, falling away, like the sort of the mental, the problem of self, the problem of my life, you know, was really powerful and helpful. But the body still had all its conditioning when that happened. You know, so like just like you were saying, the softening and the opening of the body is like such a deep and profound gift that's often sort of missed when we talk about realization or enlightenment. Like this, you know, it's like such a profound invitation. This invitation to discover the freedom of the body, to allow the sort of the holding in the body to release in its own time. It has its own logic, its own way of doing this. It's not responding to instructions from the mind. You know, it's responding to loving presence, loving consciousness, awareness, and yeah, this is tremendously powerful and really like yeah. It's such a radically different way to be here when the body softens and opens. Even if it softens and opens like 10% more than we're familiar with, it's radically different. It totally changes our experience of life, our experience of other people. It's you know, it's a different world to be living in.
Yeah, thank you so much, Adam. What you said really rang a bell about the body is not responding to instructions from the mind. It responds to loving presence. This is such a difference really to realize, and I'm grateful that I could experience this with you, because actually this is an experience. It's not an explanation. You can't explain this.
Right.
Life and presence is life, actually. And the realization of the mind, which comes in thoughts, it's great, but it's not presence, it's not life, and it cannot exactly give instructions to the body to behave in a new way, because the mind decides, okay, from now on we are going to do it differently. It doesn't work like this.
Yeah, and this is why coming to a retreat is much powerful than reading a book or watching a YouTube video. It's because you really get that part, the opportunity to have the direct experience with the body, to have the direct experience of softening and open, to be immersed in a field of loving awareness and presence. So it's a tremendous opportunity. And I mean, this is why I'm not, I haven't written a book, and I'm not terribly interested in writing, because it doesn't touch these. It doesn't touch the sort of the deeper possibility that's here, and like in the way that retreats do.
There is another question here from Stefan. Stefan. Thank you. I didn't know that the body realization was possible is the first comment. And then there is another. My body definitely holds a lot of insecurity. The idea of authentic movement makes my body tense up. Oh, sitting with the body in a loving way causes it to soften.
Sitting with the body in a loving way. Yeah. Yeah. I think it's good just to notice, like, yeah, I love the way you're noticing, like, your body's response to the different words, the different invitations. And I think a lot of people, when they hear something like authentic movement, sort of imagine, oh, I'm supposed to do something. I've got, like, there's some practice of, like, I'm supposed to learn dance moves or something, or perform. So it's really like, it is, authentic movement is being with your body in a loving way. It's actually, that's exactly what it is. And it, like, can look and like anything. It can look like lying on the floor. It can look like jumping up and down. It can look like shouting, or like growling. It can, I mean, anything the body wants to do in the moment. So it's like the opposite of performance. But I love the way that you notice, like, the tension that came up in the body. Like, oh, I'm supposed to know something. I mean, I don't know exactly why your body had that experience, but for many people, that they do have some response like that when they hear anything that the body's supposed to do. So really, the authentic movement is, although it sounds like I'm supposed to move, like I say, stillness is just as valid as movement. There's no movement that's any less valid or more valid. It's really that invitation to be with the body in a loving way and let it unfold however it wants to.
Yeah, I remember my first time making authentic movements. It was so much stressful. It was so stressful. Like, how the system was like, oh, what to do? Okay, move authentically. But how? This here constantly like, but how? Raise your hand, raise your left hand, right hand, move, turn around.
Yeah, it's like it's a problem to be solved. Oh my God, I've got to move authentically. Well, how do I do that? What's authentic? What's movement? I mean, I remember the first time I did it, I was like, what the hell is this? I was just, I mean, my mind was just like, had all kinds of stories come up about it. And like, why are we doing this? This is stupid. Like, how do I know if I'm moving authentically or not? It's just all this, not, again, the mind running the show, like,
yeah.
I think it was like the third time maybe I did it at a retreat where it was like, oh, like, the discovery of like how it is for the body to move itself, where the impulses are coming from the body and you're actually listening to them and letting them do what it wants to do, letting the body do what it wants to do, and how different that is than moving from the mind, where the mind is telling us like how the body should move, and then we're trying to do that. It's like a totally different experience. The way when the mind's telling us how to move, it's clunky. It's like, okay, move your hand up. Like, how about doing this yoga pose or something? It's like this. It's like this. The stream of thought is not connected to like the actual truth of the body. So there's this like clunky, like dragging the body around and making it perform like some show dog or something. Not a very good show dog either. It's like, it's so different from when we're actually listening to the body and like letting the body do whatever it wants to do, including nothing at all. It's like really giving it that much space and permission. And, for many of us, we've never had that. We've never had, especially so in a social situation, we've never had the experience of like the body being given permission to move. I mean, not since we were incredibly young and we started to get scolded and stuff when we moved in ways that our parents didn't approve of. So it's really, it's such a profound invitation, like to listen to the body and let it do what it wants to do. And for many people, they don't even know that that's a possibility. I mean, that the body like does have its own capacity to move by itself and like its own desires that are not mediated through the mind.
You guys are really a long way something. Oh, thank you.
You are too, Stefan. I love your questions.
Yeah, if you are in Sofia for some reason or you are near, why don't you jump tomorrow? Tomorrow there is an open event. I'm going to say this again in the end because Adam will need to leave soon. I'm in Amsterdam. Okay, that's fine. You're in Europe though.
Yeah, you could fly in for the 5-day retreat.
Yes.
Get here by Wednesday.
You have time until 12th of October. Yeah. Email me if you have anything to ask. Yeah. 12 till 16. We are going to the mountain. Yeah. I'm going to check YouTube again. Something appeared here to ask a fear from seeking. Someone asked me today, no, someone messaged me today. I know that I need to solve this or to figure it out. I know deeply, I know, but there is a fear coming. When there is a determination to look or to see something, there is a fear coming up. So can you say something about that fear, and maybe we can end with this? Fear to show up on the meetings like that, fear to
right.
it's fear to look, fear together like that, as if there is something which wants to come, and there is a huge part probably in some folks, which is fear, like, oh, no, I will be seen. Can you say something about that?
Yeah, I think, yeah, I mean, so many of us carry shame in the body, you know, and what this often does is it makes it very hard for us to explore our experience, because as soon as we see anything, it's like the judge comes in and says, that shouldn't be here. What's wrong with you? You feel that, or or you're experiencing this energy or these feelings. So it's very, and, you know, shame tells us, like, you know, that we're bad. There's something wrong with us. We're not having the right experience. And of course, when we believe that about ourselves, it's like, we don't want to be in intimacy. We don't want anyone to see us. We imagine we should, you know, the best place to be, the safest place to be is you know, by ourselves. So for many people, there's fear of connection, fear of intimacy, fear of coming to a retreat, because, oh my God, like, that means all the bad stuff inside will be seen. And that's the worst thing ever. That's the thing that I absolutely must stop from happening. But the truth is that there's nothing bad in there. There's actually nothing wrong with us. There's no experience that we're having that we shouldn't be having. Like, every experience is innocent. It's all just happening by itself. All the feelings totally innocent. None of us get to order what our feelings are. You know, they just happen by themselves. So there's no reason for us to condemn ourselves because of what we're feeling. There's no reason to condemn somebody else because of what they're feeling, because what they're feeling is totally innocent. And what happens in the space of a retreat, as people start to open and share, is we start to realize, like, oh my God, everybody has this. Everybody suffers in very similar ways. We all have very similar feelings, and most of us have shame around our feelings. And that shame starts to evaporate. We start to realize, like, oh, we're not alone. We don't have to be alone because we feel these things. we can actually be in loving company together, and we can be open about what's happening for us, what's alive for us, what's true for us. And it's just such a profound healing to actually, like, let ourselves be seen, to let ourselves be in intimacy as we reveal parts of ourselves, or we see parts of ourselves that are have been shamed, have been condemned. It's yeah, I mean, it's really what heals shame more powerfully than anything else is connecting with it and in loving company. So it undoes the experience we had where somebody told us, like, you shouldn't feel that, you're bad, you need to feel these things instead. So it totally undoes that, it totally heals it. And then we realize, oh, there's nothing wrong with me. There's no reason why I don't belong in intimacy or company, or I can't be loved. It's like, that was all fabricated, it was all made up. It was taken on typically as a young child, like as we tried to explain why our parents weren't giving us the love and attunement that we wanted. And even good parents will fail to attune and love their child 100% of the time in every situation. So we've all had opportunities where to take on that shame and think like, oh, there must be something wrong with me because mommy and daddy are not loving me the way that I wanted. And it's like, and to even say that is like, so it's like like most of this is so unconscious. It's not that we're carrying around like the conscious belief of that, but it's like it's in our bodies now, like this sense of shame, like there's something fundamentally wrong with me, and it's totally false. And again, like, we can, even if we know this intellectually, it's another thing to have that realization, to have the experience of opening and being met with love and presence. It's like that's how the shame heals, how it softens and relaxes. And it takes a lot of courage. I mean, a lot of people won't come to it because it's so scary. And it's tragic. It's like so tragic that the people who most need it are unable to come because, it takes so much courage.
Yeah, that was lovely.
Yeah, great question. Yeah. I need to get to another meeting here.
Yes. Thank you so much, Adam, for accepting the invitation, and can't wait to see you tomorrow and to meet all of you guys, most of you, let's say in person, not all of you, but most of you. We are here a little bit more, so much love, and see you tomorrow, Adam. Thank you again.
Yeah. Thank you, Luciana. Lovely being with you, and lovely being with the people on the call. And
thank you, everybody. See you tomorrow.
Gaite.
Tomorrow. Yeah, I'm really looking forward to seeing people in person. Bye.
Bye. So
it's just, oh, I've got my microphone on. Hello.
Hello. I hear you, Stefan. Stefan or Stefan?
Stefan, yeah.
I hear you very well.
I didn't expect this to be the last one on.
Oh, you're not the last one. You're the last one in Zoom, but there are people on YouTube, so feel free to stay here as long as you.
I have to go. I have to run, actually.
Yeah, sure. We are
but yeah,
here.
thanks so much. It's been really, really nice.
You're most welcome to join us. We are almost each Thursday, we are live like that. We are having a Zoom meeting like that, which we stream live. Some of the meetings are not live, but let's say most of them are live. So feel free to join.
Okay, thanks. Yeah, I will do.
All right.
Bye. Bye.
Bye. If someone from YouTube wants to ask something, to share something, please feel free, guys. I'm here. За тези от вас, които се включиха или гледат от София, отново да кажа, утре, събота и неделя и следващата седмица сме с Адам. Адам е в България. Ще имаме събития и срещи на живо в София, след това ретрит в Младовица. Много хубави неща се случват там. Различни неща. Не знам от кое да кажа. Не знам, каквото и да кажеш е малко. Така че ако някой иска да попита нещо, да сподели, моля. На тази среща Адам говори повече, на срещите, които правим на живо. Наистина нещата се преживяват, не се говорят толкова много. Не е толкова тук. Maybe I should tell this in English as well. If you want to meet Adam in person, you have the opportunity. We are going to have few meetings in Sofia, and if you are nearby, let's say in Europe, somewhere, I don't know, you can act in like accidentally, like with an impulse, to jump on a plane and to come here. We can be together for a few days. Would you like to say something? Lugo is here next to me. I'm now inviting him to join me. I don't know if he...
I'm jealous because of Adam, and that's why I'm hiding here.
Okay.
Yeah, I like the way Luciana invite. Just listen impulse and catch the plane and jump here, because we're talking here about absolute freedom. There's nobody who is limited. Limitations are only imagined construction and sensations in the body.
That's all, yeah.
Nothing more. There is no real limitation. Real, I mean, there is no real walls, no real borders.
But really, whatever we say, it sounds like, it may sound like, I don't know what. But when you have a chance to experience what we are talking about, it's a game changer.
Freedom is here already. There is no imagination or someone to tell you a story about something. No, this is what reality is. You're not a person closed in the body. Not at all.
Maybe we can end like that. I don't know.
Yeah.
Much love to all of you. Yeah.
See you soon.
See you soon, and just to know that you are not alone. You are in a company.